Hello everyone, JDF here. I just want to apologize for putting these chapters off for like more than a month because I gotta be honest, I was trying to get better at my voice acting and narration that I'm surprised it's literally taking me this long. And throughout that entire process, I completely forgot to do this. That is on me, that is my fault. I'll try to get another chapter out next week. If I don't, then you have every single right to bitch at me. Anyway, I hope to see you next week. So, Hez and Vin finally arrives back in Javelda. They look at their surroundings. As it is from a distance away, there is nothing left standing. Only the scattered pieces of dust and debris are all that remains of the homes and buildings. But they are not the only thing. Corpses, buried, burned, and charred on the streets and under rubble. Bodies split in many pieces or in half, revealing a very gruesome sight to behold. Vin holds her mouth with her left hand. Thal and Hess looks away and faces forward as best as they can. As the three proceed through the suburbs, they notice something very eerie. The sounds of flames ranging nearby and far away are the only thing that they can hear, and the sound of the hover bikes are the other things that they can hear. Not a voice can be heard for meters and miles away. It is as if they are roaming through a city of the dead, even when proceeding through downtown. It feels as if we were traveling through unknown territory, which is strange, considering it was my home. They speed past the stadium. Like the rest, there is nothing but debris all over. They continue on until finally they arrive at the base. Once again, there is nothing left. They look all over the area. They cannot find any sign of life anywhere. The hoverbike slowly lands on the ground. The three mounts off and walks over the rubble to find anything. They carefully walk over the dead corpses of their fallen comrades. As they do, they notice that most of them were holding Mark I plasma guns. A last-minute decision? They do not know. Help me! Thal looks over to where the voice is coming from. He finds the chairman over piles of debris. Chairman! Chamni, Gizuni, help me! The two rushes over to him, and the three begins to slowly move the pieces of the building off of his body. Once he is clear, they carefully move his body up. Aki coughs uncontrollably with blood coming out of his mouth. Sir, are there any medical staff? No. Everything is gone. That beast took everything. Sir, that beast that destroyed everything was Zero. What? So, it has returned after all of these years. So you do know what it is. Tell us, what can we do against Zero? Teeyol. Teeyol? Aki places his left hand on Thal's right shoulder. Thal, find your father. He knows where it is. He says and stops. His eyes closes and his arms falls off Thal's shoulder. Aki is no more. The three pilots places the deceased chairman gently back down. They stand back to their feet as they stare at the body. Hez looks away at Thal. Do you think your father survived? Thal remains silent, unable to answer his question. He turns around with the biggest concern and worry on his face. 15 minutes have passed. The three Vugi pilots stand in front of the Domuni residence. Like everything that has happened, however, the home is no more. Thal becomes distraught at the sight of his own home reduced to nothing. He shakes his head, bringing himself back to reality. He rushes to what used to be the front door and looks around. Papa! Papa! No answer. He digs through the rubble to look for anyone, only to find nothing. The hell? I think they're... Hez? Do not! Wait. The office! Father's underground office! He runs over the pieces of his home. He stops on the spot near the corner edge of the foundation. He kneels down and picks up the wood. Help me move this! Hez rushes over to him and helps him. Vin, however, walks over, crossing her arms. She does worry for the safety of his parents, but does not show it on her face. Then Hez picks up a piece of slab and throws it to the left. The former reaches down and grabs the door handle. He forcefully opens the door. He and Hez looks inside. Nothing but darkness. Del calls out to his parents. No response. His worries increases. He jumps and lands on the steps going downwards. Hez and Vin follows him. Del reaches the bottom of the basement. He claps his hands twice. Suddenly, lights appears on the walls, then on the floor. More and more lights brightens the entirety of the basement. They reveal fallen books, weapon parts, and tools scattered all over the floor. But there's no sign of the Moody's parents. They're not here. Maybe they managed to come down here and survived. It's possible, but where did they go to? The three looks around to find anything that showed that they were in the basement. Del's eyes are on Vale's desk. It is clear of everything. However, there is something sitting in the middle. He walks over to the desk and looks at the circular device. Vin and Hez notices it. What is that? It's a messenger. Traditionally, parents leave these behind to inform their children of something important. They were here! But how long ago was that?
Approximately 4 umbras ago, both individuals escaped to an unknown location.
Oh, thank the heavenly stars. Hey, what are we waiting for? Play the messenger. Del nods his head. He pushes the button on the left side of the messenger. Beams of light pops out of the top. Del aims the beams of light onto the ground. A hologram forms in the shape of Vale and Mie. In the background, all of the books, weapon parts, and tools are still in one place. The husband and wife holds each other's hands as an explosion faintly erupts in the background. Del, if you are watching this, that means you have survived. That also means we are all right. But please, you must listen to us. This is very important. I have not been very honest with you as of late, and it is partially my fault. You asked what Zero is, and I've only given you the bare minimum. The cackling roars of Zero can be heard in the background. Vale composes himself and continues. Here is the truth. Zero was our original. By that I mean Zero was our original protector. For over 6,000 years, it has watched over us and saved us from the greatest threats that the Nibiru has ever faced. Mia and I were born in a time where Zero was cherished as a great savior of our world, worshipped as a deity even. But I wish we were born much sooner. I do not know how or why, but Zero had changed. It saw us as the enemy. 1/4 of the Nibiru's population was killed in only a short amount of time. And it would have continued were it not for male Domuni, your grandfather, Gizuni, and Koma Chamni, grandmother. And we had something to combat it. Teeyol, the first mech of our planet. It was a gruesome battle. But we'd won. Zero had disappeared to somewhere that we couldn't detect. After which, the Domuni, Chamni, and Gizuni dynasties made a pact, and the Nibiru saw us as the top 3. But I'm afraid that it is happening again. Zero has returned. But Thel, listen closely. We are not just at war against Zero. Nay, Nibiru is at risk of becoming nothing but a floating graveyard planet of the solar system. We now have to fight to survive or die by Zero's revenge via persecution. Shock overwhelms the 3 Niborian pilots. A war has already begun. A war against Zero. And it is more greater than ever before. Tel, pay close attention. You must find Teeyol. You may not know where it is, but you do now. Another beam of light shines onto the floor. It shows a holographic replica of Planet Nibiru. An X appears on a particular spot. By the time you are seeing this, you are here. and 0 is here. Another X appears on the screen showing the current location of the beast. As you can see, 0 is closer or farther away from your position. Unfortunately, Teeyol is somewhere here. A circle appears on the side of the planet, hovering over a valley of mountains. That's the Mizo Mountains, but that's over 50 Zayas away. And it's near the city of Zamta. I have already planned out the best and safest route to Teeyol's location. If you can get there in time, then you should be able to find it. Once you do, here is your one and only objective. Kill 0. And don't worry about us. We will be... The roar in the background gets louder, along with terrifying screams from their neighbors. It's here! The surroundings shakes all around them. The roar grows to its loudest. Suddenly, the transmission cuts off and ends. Thel rests the messenger to his side. Hess looks at him, then at Vin. I can't believe it. It's a war for survival. Nav. I can't believe this. This is what it has come to? The fate of our homeworld rests in our hands? We have to risk our lives to fight a beast with a mech from the original era of mechs? What if 0 finds us and kills us? Thel walks past Hess and Vin towards the stairway. He takes a first step on it, then looks back at them with the most determined look in his face. I do not know, but we are not staying here to let some monster destroy everything we love. I'm still the leader of this group. So I say, we're heading for the Mizo Mountains. Does anyone object? No, sir! I guess it is long overdue to be rid of 0. Good. Fuki, memorize the map that Father provided.
Acknowledged.
It is going to be a long trip, so I hope you are ready.
Alert. New orders issued to all forces on Nibiru from the Empress herself.
Zika Demzi?
Calling all pilots and knights of the cities of Nibiru. Arise, for there is war once again. Mission objective. Destroy 0.
Looks like our objective is issued. Then it is settled. Come, we have no time to waste. And like that, the war had officially begun, and so did our mission. Hez stated that, as we parted from Velda, this journey shall be the defining point in our individual legacy. Such true words from a co-pilot like him. But we had to hurry, because as we exited Velda, we realized that our numbers was decreasing and dropping at a rapid rate. If only most of the planet knew what was happening. The sky yesterday was bright and blue with less clouds. Today, the blue is starting to fade away and being replaced by a light orange sky, and there are more clouds than before. Thel, Vin, and Hez, driving in their individual Mark I hover bikes, notices this as they approach the city of Sabna. The outskirts of the city starts coming into view. We are approaching Sabna now. If we are lucky, we should be able to... His engine stops. He hits the brakes on his bike, and so does his co-pilots. As the vehicle comes to a stop, he looks ahead. Holy! Vin and Hess looks at what Thel is witnessing, and all three of their reactions are the same. The 5th largest city on the planet, Sabna, is in their sights. However, it has suffered the same fate as Valda, billowing smoke with an inferno sitting underneath. Vin looks away. Hess covers his mouth, and Thel looks down at the handles. Should we find any survivors? What would be the point? If there were none in Valda, then why would we even try?
Scanning for life. Scan complete. Life detected.
Their emotions turns from distraught to shock. How many?
Approximately 34,000.
Where are they?
Near the center of the downtown district.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's move! His bike speeds off. Vin and Thel follow suit. Minutes later, the three arrives in the downtown district. They approach the area very slowly, looking around to find any of the survivors. There is no one to be found in the smoldering remains of the city. A voice calls out to them. Do you hear that? Indeed I do. Their vehicles accelerates. They approach an area of open streets. They see a few figures standing in the distance. Niborians. Relief overwhelms the three, but as they get closer, their injuries are revealed. To all of our relief, we managed to find survivors, but their injuries were moderate to severe. Some of those injuries were too severe that even I dared not to look at. Eyes hanging out, missing limbs, and... At least you managed to find them in time. Yes, but at the same time, I knew that I couldn't bring them on the journey. So, we ordered them to head to one of the Brew's moons. It was the first time that we managed an evacuation. A successful one at that. Anyway, our mission continues. It has been 24 hours into the journey to the Mizou Mountains. The 3 Mark I hoverbikes are sitting outside of a small hotel owned by the Lekla dynasty in the countryside village of Fanla. Inside of the lobby, the 3 pilots are standing next to a counter with a worker writing their names on a holographic clipboard. There we go. You are good to go for the night. Your room is on the 3rd floor up. Thank you. Tell me again why we are spending the night here? Would you rather be eaten alive by Goomas while we sleep in the sand? Besides which, the leader of the village, Guiba, was very generous to allow us to stay here for the night. Although, from what he told me, this entire village of 50,000 is going to be evacuated. But where would they go? Same as the people in Sabna, into orbit. He walks away from the counter into the lobby. Hez and Vin follows him as they exit the lobby into the hallway. Although, it is strange. What is? The escape into orbit is an option, but why so late at this time? A question that even its 2 co-pilots cannot answer themselves. The evening turns into night. The pilots rest for a short period of time before they have to head out once more. Within the hotel, Hez is deep in slumber as well as Thel. Loud footsteps wakes up the latter. Who in the... His eyes open and he looks around. A figure walks past his bed as he sits up. Then he hears a door open and close. He gazes upon the bed that has his blanket flipped to the side. Of course. What was that? It's nothing. I'll handle this. Thel removes his blanket and exits the bed. He walks to the door and exits the room. He looks down at one side of the hallway, then down the other side. In his sights is a female Niborian in her battle-damaged combat suit. Vin! Vin! She does not answer him. That stubborn fool! He runs after her in the dimly lit hallway. He catches up to her and grabs her arm, causing her to stop. What are you doing? I'm getting ahead of you two. No, you are not. You are not going to find Teeyol at this time. Not when Zero is still active. I'll take my chances. Vin starts to walk, but she gets pulled back by Thel. He turns her around and forces her to look at him. Will you stop and think about what you're about to do? Vin does not respond right away, only to make the most sickening look on her face. Don't you ever touch me again! She yanks herself from Thel's grip and crosses her arms. Her back leans against the wall and her head looks directly down. Thel becomes more confused and angry. Ever since Zero destroyed Velda and after we left it, you have become more distant as of late. Only because if I stay with you two, I'll get killed one way or the other. What is this? Vin notices a change in tone and attitude immediately. She looks at him dead in the eyes. She can feel the rage building inside of him. When you were told that you're going to be my co-pilot, you scoffed right in front of me. I tried to make peace with you. You scorned me with much of the same venom. And now, when the fate of the entire planet rests in our hands, you want to be the one and only savior. I do not get it! You wouldn't understand. Understand what exactly? Leaving us to die so that you can build back your dynasty to its former glory? Or is it that you want to kill me specifically when this is all over? Rage builds within Chamni. Neither! Then what is it? Stop hiding behind your shattered pride and admit to me what is really going on inside of your mind. It's because I only want to see if my home is still intact. Thel goes from anger to confusion almost instantly. What? You were born in Velda, were you not? No. Zamta. Oh. I see. You want to head there early to ensure everyone's safety. I understand now. It's not just that. It's my family. I see. Well, I'm sure that they're all right. I do not know about that. Wait a moment. Why did you move to Valda in the first place? To face you? Should have guessed that. And to find more answers. Thel's eyebrows lifts in curiosity. My grandmother told me stories about what Zero really was, and what it did all those years ago. May we speak about this in private? 5 minutes passed. Both Thel and Vin stands upon a balcony staring out into the night sky, which is full of majestic, stunning stars complemented by the space clouds with many shapes and sizes. There are a lot of things going on inside of Vin's mind, but she focuses on one single thing. When I was little, the fact and myth of Zero never existing was starting to become common in the Boyan society. Many of the older generations still remember what the beast was, but most are utterly afraid to speak out and tell what really happened. Why is that? Because even before Zero's return, it would have been seen as an illusion, a figment of one's imagination. Well, all of us are finding out as we speak. If only the government is so inept. Now, hold on. You better not be talking like a heretic. Vin can only smirk at that comment. It would not be the first time my family has been called that. Huh? For all of the accomplishments that the Chamni dynasty has achieved, it did not come without the suffering. I do not know when, how, or why, but the Council of Nibiru, including the Empress herself, branded my grandmother as a heretic. Seek it, Dempsey? But why? Like I said, I don't know. But it did not go well when I was brought into the world, right when my grandmother was confronted in court for charges of conspiracy spreading. Even though I was born in Zamta, the Chamnis were banished from the city by the court's orders. Oh my. Soon after that, the Chamni name was put under much scrutiny that when I became of age, I have grown tired of it. So I set out to restore the family name. Listening to her very closely, Thel begins to understand Vin even more than before. So that's why I have such fun hatred towards our dynasty. Thel lets out a light sigh. Now I feel horrible for everything that you went through. Don't. The last thing I need is pity from a rival dynasty. She lets out a sigh and turns her back. She leans against the guardrail and looks at the sky above. Do you want to know something sad and pathetic? No one knows why Zero decided to betray us in the first place. Really? No one? I'm not at all surprised by that, considering the situation that we're facing. That kind of information leaves Thel baffled just a little bit. He shakes his head and comes to his senses. He smiles and looks at Vin. Well, how about this? When the dawn comes, we will continue our trek, this time, to Zamta. Vin looks away from the skies directly at Thel. She smiles and nods. At the time, I didn't know it, but a special bond was created between myself and Vin. You two were in love? More or less. And as for Hez, our friendship started awkwardly, but it thankfully was getting beyond that. Then and Belle enters back into their hotel room after 15 minutes of chatter. Hearing them enter the room, Hez wakes and sits up in his bed. Is everything alright? Yes, now go back to sleep. The most coldest response that he has heard. He looks at Thel. What she said? Everything is fine. Everything is sorted out, I assume? Indeed. Although, once dawn breaks, we will be departing. To? Our next stop? Zamta? You mean Sigia? What? I looked at the map your parents left us, and it says that Sigia is the next destination. Vuki?
Indeed. The next destination is Sigia, Gizuni's home city.
Well, I guess it would not be much if we stopped and evacuated everyone. Actually, I have been meaning to ask you something. Sure, ask away. Why did you decide to be my co-pilot for Vuki specifically? There were other pilots that needed the best operator for defense. Hez ponders on his question. Then he comes to an answer. Well, I wanted to meet you. Is that all? No. There are multiple reasons, but in truth, I didn't know what I was getting into. One moment, my grandfather was teaching me the ways of defense, and the next moment, I've been chosen to be your co-pilot, and now our world is at war against a monster that most of us thought never existed. Why did you believe that Zero never existed? No one told me, and even if I was told about it, I would have been charged for conspiracy spreading. The second time that Thel has heard that phrase, many thoughts start swirling in his mind. I'm sure the government is starting to change their minds about this situation. Another thought comes into Hez's mind. Hey, if we survive this, maybe we can have a friendly competition. I don't think so. Aw, why not? Because despite your amazing defensive strategy, we both know that I would win. Please, you clearly have not seen all of my defensive strategies. Our bond with each other was growing. It was sort of a buffer of relief from the reality that we were facing, but reality itself has ways to remind us of how terrible and gruesome it is. Next time, the approaching disaster.